Muy buenos días a todos, bienvenidos al programa de sesiones de Fruit Attraction Live Connect. Vamos a comenzar con la jornada de hoy.
Hello, good morning. My name is Lucas González and I am the Director of Business Development at Biorizon Biotech. We are very glad to be here today and we will speak today about our business concept, our business model, which is based on vast research and development and innovation, and on the microalgae experience we have. So we are going to speak about microalgae, innovation, and we will finalize with the range of products summary we have now. We are having here Mr. Juan José García, who is working at Biorizon, and he is the head of our research and development department with many years experience in the field, in agriculture, in development, and so on. And we are having Alicia González, who is our partner, because we used to collaborate with different institutions, and he's our partner from Cajamar Station. So we will start with Juanjo, and I will be answering questions you might have, and we want to be this very dynamic, and that is useful, and it's a new hot topic, and we want to share with all of you our experience in this microalgae innovation and about Biorizon. Okay, so I hope that everyone enjoys and you can participate, and I will be also answering questions. So without any more delays, we can start with Juanjo. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to share the presentation. Okay. Lucas, please confirm that the presentation is okay.
Okay.
Now it's full screen, it's okay?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Juan José García, and I belong to the department, R&D department of Biorizon Biotech. And today I'm going to present our company, what we do, and what are our interests in R&D development. Our company is Biorizon Biotech. It's the company dedicated to agriculture and is integrated in the group Biorizon. The group is composed by other three companies: Bioenergy, dedicated to things related to energy; Algae-Tech, that is the company dedicated to the microalgae production. We work with them very closely. And the last company is the CISLO, that is dedicated to the production of natural cosmetics. We are focused mainly as Biorizon Biotech in the production of products based on microalgae, cyanobacteria, and bacteria. Our company, Biorizon Biotech, was born as such in 2015. But the foundation, the origin of the company, dates back to 2003 in the company Bioalgal Marine. It's the first worldwide recognized company producing biostimulant or bioproduct based on microalgae. Since 2003 and 2015, our portfolio has grown a lot. the same level as our capacity for microalgae production. We have achieved several milestones since 2010. The milestones are related to the achievements, are related to innovation and technology development. And this success is due to our multidisciplinary team. We are now we are not so small as before. We are growing a lot. We are a company medium size, but we work very closely with a lot of technological partners. You have here at the right side of the slide our partners in several projects. These projects are precisely the origin of our technology. We are focusing on developing projects that they are going to give us feedback as knowledge to apply in our product. This is a summary of several projects. We started back in 2012 formulating eco-friendly biopesticide, and then we focus on projects based on microalgae technology. For instance, Regenera project was the development of a process to recover water from wastewater treatment using the growing of microalgae to remove nitrogen and phosphorus from this water. And this water could be returned as water for irrigation. Another project very interesting was Metin Green, where all the waste, vegetable waste generated in horticultural farms can be fermented to produce biogas. So we are trying always to get products of high added value from wastes. The Biorefina project was another very interesting project that we made with several research centers, such as NIA, the University of Almeria, and the group of La Caña. And this project was a modular approach to recover all the waste in a high added value product from the waste coming from horticultural farm and also from livestock. Basically, we have model for fermentation to make compost, another model to create or generate biogas from the biomass. Also, another model was the production of microalgae from lixiviates and water coming from the fermentation processes or directly from the livestock. Then the water was returned as irrigation water after the production of microalgae, removing of all the nitrogen, phosphorus, and inorganic salts that were in excess, creating biomass that was also later processed as biostimulant. This project has a continuation in the Savannah project, where we are integrating a big consortium, international consortium of companies and technological centers, where we are exploring the bioactive compounds that they are present in microalgae for enhancement of agriculture and aquaculture activities. In this project, Bioreson Biotech has put his production plant at the service of the project, and we are producing the selected microalgae strains at industrial level, which is the part of the project that corresponds to Bioreson Biotech. We are also working in recently in the aquabeauty project, where we are giving a step beyond the aquaculture activities that they are covered by Savannah. We are incorporating, together with this research center, microalgae hydrolysate enriched with probiotic microorganisms in feed for our aquaculture. And something like a spin-off of the Savannah project, because we were checking the properties of microalgae. We could observe that microalgae have pesticide or biopesticide action against different pathogens. So we are exploring also this side of the microalgae and microalgae and cyanobacteria for agriculture. Changing a little bit the subject, we were also working late in 2015 in Bacagro project to explore the use of bacteria for plant growth enhancement, and also for as bioprotecting agents against different phytopathogens. Also, we have, or we are finishing, or we finished recently another project with based on bacteria. In this case, where we selected different extremophile bacteria from Russia soils in collaboration with a company in Russia, with the same concept that Bacagro, but in this case, the advantage of the bacteria is that they are well adapted to high temperature and low temperature. Basically, all the process, all the knowledge generated in this project are translated to our knowledge, our own knowledge, and what we do. Yeah, we are always looking for new microalgae strains. Basically, we make a screening of soils and water. Here you have different Petri dishes where changing the medium, the pH, making a shortage of nutrient, we can select the strain growing in the Petri dishes. So later we can easily isolate them, have the pure microalgae or cyanobacteria strains, and after this isolation, we can characterize them perfectly via optical microscope, like these images, or in case that is necessary, we can go to genetic characterization. Yeah, once we have a strain selected, next step is to produce the strain at lab scale to a volume where we can characterize the main components of every strain. Here you have something that covers more or less the composition, the general composition of microalgae and cyanobacteria. And where we are interested is in this others percentage, where depending on the strain that we select or we have selected, we can find different biochemical profile of very interest, with a big interest in agronomical application. We are speaking about hormones, cytokinins, gibberellins, auxins, the presence of salicylic or jasmonic acid, the presence of polyphenol, the profile of polyphenol, everyone with a specific function in the plant, and so on. So basically, we are building, or we have already built, a very interesting and very important library of microalgae and cyanobacteria, where we know specifically the properties of each one. Next step is to work in lab scale, looking for biostimulant capacities or effect of the microalgae. We can combine them, use them alone, and we make a very simple experiment such as germination, looking for the germination index. We also check the biostimulant effect in the growing, in this case in culture chamber. But of course, once we have something very interesting, we observe a microalgae strain that is working very nicely at lab scale, we go very fast to lab field trials in our experimental field, looking for instance for development of foliar and flowering mass. Also, we are checking the productivity, the production, the quality, not only the numbers, the big amount of the higher production. We are also checking the quality of the product. And of course, we also, another important part of the agriculture sector is the enhancement of root development. And here you have an example of what we do from lab scale to field trials, where a selected combination of microalgae can give you a very interesting root development. As I told you, another very important part of our R&D is the evaluation of biopesticide action of microalgae. We have selected several strains of bacteria and fungi for lab studies. And what we do is to check in Petri dishes the capacity to avoid or to stop the growing of the pathogen. The assays are carried out in this way. In the Petri dish, we have 4 wells that they are filled with our microalgae extract. And in the case of a fungi, we place a small amount of mycelium in the center of the plate, and we allow the fungi to develop. In the case of bacteria, what we do is the same. We fill in the well with our microalgae extract, and then we make a seed of the bacteria using the strict seeding. And what we see basically is this. In this part, you see how the fungi has covered completely the Petri dish. And in these cases, the extract of the microalgae extract diffuse in the agar, and then touches the area where the fungi is growing, basically stopping the growing of the fungi. We can measure this inhibition capacity of every. We can measure the inhibition capacity of every microalgae strain. Similarly, in the case of bacteria, we have halos around the microalgae extract. That is telling us that in this case, the extract is inhibiting the growing of the bacteria. Obviously, all this data, this capacity against different pathogens to inhibit the growing are incorporated to the library of microalgae. So we have very well studied for every microalgae that we have, the biostimulant capacity and also the biopesticide potential action of these microalgae. This is just an example of 10 tables of bioactivity. Things that we do, phosphorus solubilization, and percentage for inhibition of growing different fungus and bacteria. And of course, when we have a candidate, what we do is to make to check using vegetable material that the extract is working. This is a very simple example where we used a geranium leaf to prove that this microalgae extract inhibits the growing of botrytis. Basically, in this figure, you see that the fungus grows covering completely the leaf, and in this case, the extract was previously sprayed on the leaf, and then the fungus was placed in the center of the leaf, and it's clear that the fungus growing is completely inhibited. Another interesting part of the microalgae, the use of microalgae or application of microalgae in agriculture, is that we have seen that they can act as mobilizer or drivers of nutrients that they are immobilized in soil. We have observed that treating only with microalgae biofertilizer, again chemical fertilizer, we got in field trials an early production in the case of treatment with microalgae fertilizer. Yeah, you see easily. We got 56% more production than T1, that is only with chemical fertilization, in the first 20 days. But of course, after several more weeks, there is a moment that the soil is completely south. You remove all the macronutrients that you are mobilizing with the microalgae biofertilizer. So you need to apply some fertilization, conventional fertilization. But this is pointing us that we can reduce the use of chemical fertilization, and we already did it, and we got 30% of our nitrogen reduction and 12% potassium reduction. I hope my partner Alicia will show that those experiments. Yeah. Once we have, we know what we do with what we have to do with the microalgae. We know how to get it at lab scale, but the important part is to produce them at the high industrial scale. For that, we have our Agora plant that is, as I said, at the service of the project Savannah. And there we have several photobioreactors, closed photoreactors as tubular, vertical and horizontal tubular photobioreactors. And also we have open raceways that they are mainly dedicated to agriculture field. The closed photobioreactor are better for more specific and with high requirements of quality microalgae. Our plant for sure is the biggest plant in Europe dedicated to microalgae for agriculture. And the plant is fully instrumented, is automatized, and is controlled in continuous mode, everything, the preparation of the medium, the harvesting, the centrifugation, the isolation of the microalgae. We have also in this plant a small area for production, a pilot production of the microalgae, the selected microalgae, not only for production for our product. Basically, for the people that is not used to the production of microalgae, this is a basic scheme. The cultivation area, the only thing that it needs is the macro and micronutrient solutions, basically to add nitrogen, phosphorus, magnesium, whatever is the macro or macronutrient that is going to need the microalgae. We also need to add the water, there's sun evaporation, and of course a source of carbon, in this case is CO2. We need also sufficient light to ensure that the photosynthesis is carried out properly for the microalgae. Basically, when we have a big amount of microalgae in our raceway, the microalgae is harvested, typically it's daily. We pass the microalgae or the volume that we are going to harvest to a culture accumulation tank. Then we have the separation process. From that, we have the microalgae biomass that can be dry and packaged. And the supernatant is recirculated to the cultivation area. So we have a harvesting loop with no waste generation under the zero residue concept. Later, this biomass is treated in our production plant. The production plant now is not the one that we are showing here. It's much more bigger. We are working on our expansion plan, and the process that we are applying in the plant are developed previously at lab scale. So we have from lab to industrial scale concept, because every microalgae strain has its own particularities to achieve the membrane rupture and get the things that the microalgae has inside in our formulations. The other part, or the other important side of our R&D is the use of bacteria in agriculture. We are focusing on getting bacteria with dual action. The dual action is plant growth promoting bacteria and pest control bacteria. Anyway, sometimes, or in most of the cases, the pest control action is closely related to the plant growth promoting bacteria. Just an effect of success of the bacteria against the competitors in the soil for getting the nutrients. Our strategy is exactly the same. We follow the proper procedures to isolate the new strain of bacteria. These bacteria are coming usually from soils, agronomic soils that they are in production. So we are not inventing nothing different. We are looking for bacteria that they are already present in the field. And yeah, the strategy, as I said, is the same. We look for the present or production of siderophores, also compounds related to agronomical biostimulation, and we also look for activity that can give us a beneficial action as biopesticides. Of course, phosphate fossilization is a very important part in these studies. Here you have several isolated with our keys and different inhibiting capacities. Again, the same fungus and bacteria that we were using for microalgae. We use them as a model. And again, we build a library or database of bacteria with biopesticide and biostimulant action. The procedure, the protocol for researching is the same. We look for germination index. We also look for better root development of the bacteria. We also check in our experimental field the production, the biostimulant action of the bacteria. This picture, they are not really nice because these are 10 centimeter, and here we are speaking about 15, almost 20 centimeter. But we don't only check for quality or higher fruits. We look for a specific action on the culture. For instance, this is an example for the filling of aubergine. The bacteria allows to fill faster aubergine. And another very nice example of this special effect is this effect of our co-bacteria 4 that was evaluated in cherry tomato. We made only 2 applications, and we check for average flowers per floral branch, again the control after every application. As you can see, in all the cases, after every application, the average of flower per floral branch was higher in the case of the application of the bacteria. But we got a very nice surprise that we promote with the application of the bacteria development of branches. Here you see how the double and triple branches grows with the application of bacteria against the mono branch. In both cases, okay? These are the picture of what we are speaking. This is 1 flower branch, 2 flower branches, and 3 flower branches that were the parameter that we measured in our experiment. But we also found that we could achieve 5 flower branches with the corresponding increase of production. So this kind of biostimulation or effects are the effect that we are looking for our product based on bacteria. Now this program on development. And the last point that we are interested in is how the soil microbiota is modified with our products or with our potential product. And we have seen that we can have a prebiotic and probiotic action. We measure this with sociograms. Basically, it's the composition of the microbiota in the soil. And this is the color code give us the weight for different genera of bacteria. And we were checking, and we have surprisingly found that depending on the bacteria, the format of the product, if it's liquid or solid, the composition of the soil and the sampling after several days, 21 days or 16 days, we have a variation, very nice variation of the microbiota in the soil. So basically, this is telling us that you can have bacteria. They are very nice, very good colonizers. They go to the soil and appropriate this part of the rhizosphere. And there are other kind of bacteria that they are good as a partner with the others, so they allow to other bacteria they promote the growth of other bacteria. And these are pointing, or these are making us to think that the soil is quite complex, but anyway, our product, they have prebiotic and probiotic action depending on these parameters. And yeah, this is more or less a summary of our activities, small visual of what we do and who we are. If you are interested in our products or you want to follow our news, you can do it in the social network and also in our main webpage that you have here. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Juanjo, very much. I think that I know that maybe at the beginning there has been some technical problems with the people with the YouTube, but now it's solved, and I am sure you will have questions on this, and people can contact you. So, Alicia, now is your turn. Puedes comenzar y presentar, okay?
Okay, I share my presentation. But it's impossible because Juanjo...
Juanjo, tienes que dejar de compartir.
Yes.
I'm having problems with Zoom. It doesn't maximize the... I'm going to shut down Zoom because it doesn't allow me to...
Okay.
Okay, and I will go, I will come back.
Okay, Alicia.
Well, I share my presentation. Okay. Do you see the presentation?
Perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Well, my name is Alicia Gonzalez. I'm research of Cajamar Research Center. Thank you very much to Verizon company to invite me to give a talk today. My presentation deals with the use different bioproducts obtained from the microalgae produced by Verizon company. Their application, effects, and horticulture crops, and how we can improve productivity sustainability. First of all, I would like to present but we do and or work with it in the Cajamar innovation area. Since the creation of the Research Center Las Palmerillas 25 years ago, Cajamar has promoted and supported the development, innovation in and incorporation the value into the agri-food sector. Through the research centers, we have important to role as dynamizer of the innovation and promoting it. Through the numerous experiments and projects that we carry out on the research centers in Almería and Valencia. But also is transferred the all information, all agents along the agri-food sector value chain, as well as through our Department of Studies and Publication, we aim talking about other research that Cajamar provides agri-food sector. The line of the research with work along the research center is grouped into the 4 areas: health and food, agri-sustainability, greenhouse, technology, and bioeconomy. In addition, I have having a study service department with all kinds of information agri-food interesting, and the service are published to help support the agri-food sector. We have always worked to support the development of the agri-food sector using 2 fundamental tools: financing and innovation. Generating and shared technology knowledge will allow us to become more productivity and competitive. Through 2019, we organized 104 events directly related to agri-food sector, attend 5,820 participants. We have the knowledge, we have the practical experience, and the most importantly, we have the best human capital. The 2 centers will carry out the main research and innovation projects are located in Almería, this is the center, with cover 14 hectares. El Cajamar Research Center Las Palmerillas is the name. And the other experiment center is in Paiporta, in Valencia, with 8 hectares. All increase strength in the relationship and direct contact with the growers and the technicians through the transfer the knowledge by conference, workshop, course, articles, etc. Innovation at Cajamar is reflected, in addition, in its collaboration with research centers, like for example, or companies like Biohorizon, University, as well as through visits or facility to see the first hubs to research carried out in our center. Well, I'm going to start with the issues of application of microalgae products. There is a question that is we must ask ourselves, what is the future of agriculture and food? How will the future generation feed themselves us with that type of food? We must help to answer this question. The responsibility of agriculture is to feed the future generation. If the population grows and agriculture produces more slow growth. 1,800, there are 1,880 million people, and today there are 7,000 million of us. According with the FAO, by the year 2050, the world population will have increased by 35% to 9.5 billion people, while the food consumption will have increased by 70%, thanks to improve of the income levels of a significant part of the world's population, especially in the developed countries. The increased production must be carried out properly of the same supervised area. Consumers are more concerned about their health. They want to know that they are eating and how it benefits health. How can we improve food security? With the sustainable agriculture. The sustainable agriculture allows us to improve agricultural production, become more environment friendly, and make a more efficient use of resources. A serious measure is necessary to achieve more sustainable agriculture production, such as the following: efficiency in the use of the water and fertilizers, providing for only the needs of the crops without using excess water and fertilizer, effective energy use, using renewable energy every time, integrate the pest control, the envelope of disease, and the pest control measure using natural enemies and substances from natural sources. Develop new varieties, more productive varieties which are tolerant adverse conditions, and precision farming, applying new information technology in agriculture practice to improve crop productivity and reduce the environment impact. The knowledge of the agriculture soil is very important for sustainable agriculture production, not only as a reservoir of water and organic matter, but also to know study the different microorganisms that inhabit it. Many of them beneficial for the development of crops. It's necessary to favor the susceptibility of certain nutrient compounds, such as nitrogen and phosphorus for plants, treating the natural ecosystem in agriculture soil, which allow crops to develop in better conditions and reduce the negative effects of the harmful pathogens for crops, so improve production and quality. A quarter of the biodiversity of our planet is located in the agricultural soil. There are complex ecosystems that contain alarming organisms that interest and contribute to the health of the soil. For this reason, all those to improve and beneficial to the health of agriculture soil with improved agriculture production. And in this sense, the use by products of natural organs, such as those obtained from microalgae, will help to achieve a more sustainable production of the agriculture. In this conference, we are going to present the results of the two trials in which biofertilizer or biostimulant compounds developed by Biorizon Biotech company from microalgae. We used and evaluated in greenhouse horticulture crops in Almeria. The result of the first test we obtained during a coordinated project called BioRefina, in which obtain of energy and agricultural byproducts for cross production with estudios. Several companies, including Biorizon, as well as research centers such as Cajamar Research Center, to take part. It was carried out on a greenhouse cucumber crop in the cycle from November to March with 4 treatments. One treatment is with only chemical fertilizer we apply and control treatment. Second treatment is with compost from plant remains and microalgae biofertilizers were used. The third was a compost treatment of the plant debris plus conventional chemical fertilizer for this crop. And the final, the fourth treatment, in which only source the nutrients used was microalgae biofertilizer. In this table, we can see the composition of the two irrigation solutions, one with chemical fertilizers and the other microalgae biofertilizing in irrigation. It was observed that the nutrient input with biofertilizers is much lower than the chemical input, especially regarding the important nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Analyzing the soil solution extracted from each treatment, that is, the nutrients available in the roots of the crop, we find that the electric conductivity on the soil is lower in both treatments in which biofertilizers were used, with values that were no higher than 4 ppm per meter through the crop cycle. Whereas in the other two treatments, using chemical fertilizers, the electric conductivity values was between 4 and 5 ppm per meter. Difference in nutrients content we always observe in this graph, with significant lower values in the two treatments with biofertilizer and independently of the compost applied in one of them, and decreasing across the crop. On the other hand, in the treatment with chemical fertilizer, the nutrients content was much higher and accumulated throughout the crop, especially in the treatment with compost. For potassium, more variability can be observed in the content of the soil solution, with a tendency to decrease throughout the crop in all treatments, due to greater demand for the fruit, but was lower in the two treatments with biofertilizer. In this table, we can see the main values of the different nutrients contained in the soil and in the end of the crop, where the greatest difference were found in the content of the nutrients and sulfates, which are lower in the treatment with microalgae biofertilizer we apply. The rest of the nutrients were similar in the fourth treatment. The nutrient status of the plant was analyzed by measuring the sap and the leaf content of nitrogen, potassium, calcium, and sodium. Differences were only found in the nutrient content, in which plants with chemical treatment contain high amounts of nutrients in the leaf, but there are no differences in potassium, calcium, and sodium. In this graph, it can be seen that there are differences in the plant growth amongst the treatments, with greater growth at the beginning of the crop in the treatment with biofertilizers. In this point. On the other hand, at the end of the growth cycle, the plants with the highest growth were cucumber plants from the treatments with chemical fertilizers, both in plant hair and leaf. Similar behavior was found in the fruit production. That is, the plants in the biofertilizer treatment began to produce early. On the other hand, at the end of the cycle, Those with the high gas production were the treatment with chemical fertilizers. With a final commercial production of 11.9 and 11.7 kilograms per square meter in the treatment T1 and T3, the commercial production of the treatment T2 with compost and biofertilizer was very similar to this treatment, 11.4 kilograms per square meter. And only the treatment T4 was inferior of the other treatments with 10.8 kilograms per square meter, but quite good production without any used chemical fertilizer. In the light of the results, there is clear biostimulant effect of microalgae biofertilizer of the growth and production of cucumbers. In addition, the commercial products were very similar and with a total reduce of the chemical fertilizer. In this imagine, is the second tree. A reduction in the nutrient input in cucumber crop was proposed in view of the fact that there is no accumulate in the soil due to the use of the chemical fertilizer. It was also used in cucumber crop in two different formulations of microalgae prepared by Biorizon we use. Is to evaluate 5 treatments. T1, conventional chemical fertilizer for crop. T2, biostimulate A, more conventional chemical fertilizer. T3, biostimulate A, with chemical fertilizers, reduce in nutrients 30%. T4, biostimulate B, with conventional chemical fertilizer. And T5, biostimulate B, I'm sorry, instead of wrong, with the reduce the nitrates in 30%. The following tables show the nutrient composition of the H irrigation solution for the treatment. The nitrates, potassium, and calcium were reduced with affect the electricity conductivity of the nutrient solution. Bioformulates A and B were applied every 15 days through irrigation. In this soil, the soil solution, that is, the amount of the nutrients available to the plants in the soil, differences were found in nutrients as well as in potassium and calcium due to the lower input in the irrigation solution. It was treated in its treatment T1, T2, and T4 treatment with conventional chemical fertilizer. If we observe the evolution of the nutrients contained in the soil, the greatest difference between treatments were found in the nutrients and potassium. With electric conductivity and potassium remain fairly stable throughout the crop as far as each treatment. In contrast to nitrates, they accumulate in the soil throughout the crop cycle, especially in the treatment T1, T2, and T4, with conventional chemical fertilizer. Nitrogen, potassium, and sodium values in SAT were similar in the 5 treatments. No statistical difference between treatments were found, despite the fact that the input in the nutrient solution of nitrogen and potassium was lower in the treatment T3 and T5. To absorption by the plant in these nutrients was similar of the rest of the treatment, since the input was sufficient to cover the needs of the plant. It's similar in the all nutrients. The reduction in the input of nutrients on potassium in the nutrient solution no affects the vegetative growth or the production cucumber fruit in the either of the two treatments, T3 and T5, compared with the control treatment, similar in the all treatments. Commercial production was no negative effect in the treatment with reduce of the nutrients and potassium compared with the treatment, the control treatment. So reduction of 30% in nutrients no affect the production of the fruit, and even in treatment T3 commercial production increased 4%, especially in the first category production. The highest, I'm sorry. The highest commercial production was achieved in the treatment T1 with an increase of 7%, followed by treatment T4 with increase 5% compared to treatment T1 or control. In general terms, it seems that the treatment with the application of bioformulate A are those with the highest total and commercial production with respect to the same application with the nutrients biostimulate A. Well, thank you for your attention. Here my contact and details for any information what you could consume.
Okay, thank you very much, Alicia. Here we have a good example of how we collaborate with different institutions and the importance of doing trials and having data and check all our field trials and so on. All right, I will finalize this presenting our general range of products. Where are we now? And I will finish presenting the product we are presenting in this innovation hub, which is in the final phase. I will share my screen. Can we see the screen, Juanjo?
Yes, no problem.
Okay.
Full screen.
Thank you. So, first of all, our mission, our ambition. What are we doing every day here at Bioson? Our ambitious and mission is safety feed for safety food. And this is for us what inspires us every day. We are and we want to be an agile and disruptive global player. At this moment, we have a team of we have a technical team with sales skills and a research and development department working on a very flat and agile organization. But our daily mission, what we are doing every day, we are focusing on safety feed for safety food. Okay, I will share our agricultural line. Our agricultural line is based on three things: bioenhancers, bioprotectors, and a traditional line of biofertilizers. The bioenhancer line is based on microalgae hydrolysates, natural active substances produced by the microalgae, as we have said, which improves plant health and productivity. And our bioprotector line is based on organic polymers from natural origin, doesn't contain any synthetic active matter, and our products are free of residues. No safety period after application. So these are our main two lines, and at the same time we are having, for certain partners, we are having a biofertilizer traditional line where we are trying to have always the best available quality, and we are formulating many ad hoc recipes for our partners. Our products and our solutions at this moment are sold in Europe, in Latin America, in certain places of Middle East, and we are also starting the business in Asia, in countries like China. So I hope all our partners, our global partners, they are now following us, or they will, or we will share later with them. So our products are already on 4 different continents, and definitely we are now focusing on scaling up our business. When we talk about now, I am going to make a small summary between products and crops. This focusing on our main products. When we are talking about these bioenhancers, we are having our AlgaFert product, and here we have examples on watermelon. Later we are having this type of products, so that they are enhancing plants in different stages. Here we have this AlgaFert in watermelon, AlgaFert in wheat. We have experience in olives trees. We have experience also in crops like potato, where we increase the size, the roots, the foliar mass, and the yield. And of course, the company started 10 years ago, but also, as Juanjo mentioned, it was an existing business already founded in 2005. And we started in Almeria, and as you know, Almeria is one of the biggest areas in the world in the greenhouse concentration. So we have a lot of experience in protected vegetables products, from tomato, cucumbers, pepper, paprika, aubergines, watermelon, pumpkin, and so on. So here we have a lot of experience in this field. Here we have an example with this AlgaFert and tomatoes, cucumbers, beans, zucchini, and so on. We are also having experiences in other crops, like, for instance, cotton, rice, extensive agriculture like alfalfa, like cereals, and so on. And we are developing in some countries, like, for instance, I can have the example of Peru, where we are developing for avocado or coffee, or recently we are also doing something with the tea in some Asian countries, and so on. Here we have another product, the biopower, that is in this bioenhancers line, and here we have examples with pineapple, banana, This is mainly for routine products. Here we did this experiment also with Cajamar on grapes, with very good results, and so on. And the third product under this bioenhancers is the biofat. Is the main objective is the fattening of the food, and here we have experience with tropical fruit like pineapple, papaya, with excellent results, as you can see in the picture. As well as we have experience in citrus and fruit trees like apple, peach, pears, and in different countries we are also having good experience in all type of berries like raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, as well as blackberries, both in South Spain, in Huelva area, also in Portugal, in Algarve and Odimira, and Chile, Peru, and Mexico. Here we have the examples with algafert and biofat in citrus with very good results. In orange with the late variety, and so on. So this is an example of 3 products among others we have in our bioenhancer line, and this cross crop and global experience. In the second line of the bioprotectors, I will present you the product is on the final stage of the Fruit Attraction Innovation Hub. Is the Crop Protect, which here you have the information about the dose and the pest between 2.5 and 3 kilograms per hectare. For fruit trees infected by fungi and mulch, such as powdery mildews in apple trees and Tafarina deformans in peach, powdery mildews of berries, such as Microsphaera grossulari in gooseberries, fungal diseases in horticulture, like cucumber, like mildew, in all type of cucurbitaceae, Phytophthora infestans in tomato, and other pests. Other like mildews in grapes, and we have done. We have been testing these products for certain period. We are only launching product after very intensive test, and here we have the summary of the field trials in different crops, like you can see here on right, and target pest, and here we have the results. We are very confident about this product, and the first growers using it, they are really satisfied. So here we can have examples on strawberry before treatment and after treatment with 2 applications every 3 days, where the mycelium is removed. Here we have on blueberry, where we combine the Crop Protect and one of our bioenhancers, and we can have very, very good results. This is in Huelva area. And we have done in other vegetables, in Palermo pepper, cucumber, with red spider and botrytis and so on, and having very good results. So we have gone on time. to the final of this presentation, and we are very glad about the opportunity we have had with Fruit Attraction, and we know this is a hot topic and so on, and we wanted to present our experience in the microalgae, how we are using. We are a biotechnology company. We are putting a lot of efforts in innovation with different partners, but at the same time, all this is reflected on a business, on a growing business, on an agile and disruptive company who is looking for growth and already with business in 4 continents. So we are here to answer you. You can contact us in our webpage. You can contact us through LinkedIn, and more than happy to help and to answer and to explore business opportunities. Thank you very much, all of you.